Don't leave behind you, then. Thank you, John.
Body early.
Soonest. Oh,
Trying to drop it.
nice big
Jewel.
action start. He defended 2 takedowns, chipping away. Never going to learn to be an get back to the feet. Still on the feet. There's no urgency.
Peso completo.
Play this
Un
next
golpe.
one.
Tenemos a una máquina 100%. Va a sacar lo que queda atrás.
Who is coaching Spivak. Oh, that's really good. Against by Ciryl. Look at that. From Ciryl, though, you're going to disengage.
Para everything in these shots. Mira eso, potencia. El arriba y el codo de la cabeza. ¡Impresionante! ¡Qué buen codo! Primero.
Here he comes. Big trouble. Second now. Big shots, but Ciryl shots like that.
In a massive bombshell statement that sent shockwaves through the MMA world, Ciryl Gane has declared that his upcoming fight against Tom Aspinall is going to be easy to prepare for, and it's all thanks to Jon Jones's spotlight on the British champion. Let's start with the bombshell that has everyone talking. Ciryl Gane, the former interim heavyweight champion, has made a stunning declaration about his preparation for Tom Aspinall, claiming the fight will be easy to get ready for and crediting Jon Jones for making it possible. In a recent interview, Gane revealed his mindset heading into his third shot at heavyweight gold. All of that, the conference, the media, everything is heavy for the fighter. I remember against Francis, it was so heavy. For Jon Jones, it was easier, so I'm sure for the next one, it's going to be easy.
At first, I think all of that, you see, the conference, the media, everything it's heavy for the fighter. And I remember against Francis, it was so heavy. It was not easy. And yeah, this is a good exercise because you must be prepared for that. This has had a little bit more pressure for the storytelling, everything. And yeah, I remember for Jon Jones, it was easier. So I'm sure for the next one, it's going to be easier.
But here's where it gets interesting. Gane's confidence stems from his experience under the Jon Jones spotlight, having already faced the pressure of fighting Bones at UFC 285. The French striker believes he's now battle-tested for the biggest stage. Tom Aspinall is the new generation. He's a tough guy, well-rounded, but I'm also a good fighter, Gane stated. It's going to be a beautiful matchup.
Well-rounded, so yeah, he's a good fighter. I'm also a good fighter, so it's going to be a beautiful matchup. It's going to be a beautiful matchup. He's going to have his tactic. I'm going to have mine. So yeah, I can't wait. I'm really excited about this challenge.
This confidence is striking considering Gane enters as a significant underdog against Aspinall, who opened as a minus 350 betting favorite. The MMA Twitter sphere has absolutely exploded following Gane's comments, with fans and fighters weighing in on what many are calling either supreme confidence or dangerous overconfidence. Retired UFC welterweight Matt Brown didn't hold back, stating, "The heavyweight division is on the line. If Gane goes in and beats him, the heavyweight division loses a lot of respect."
The heavyweight division is on the line. If Gane goes in and beats him, no disrespect to Gane, love the guy. The heavyweight division loses a lot of respect, even if Tom goes out there and it's a close.
Brown went further, suggesting this is exactly what Jon Jones was hoping for. Jon's going to be on his phone with Twitter open watching this fight, just waiting for Tom to mess up. This is the situation Jon was craving the whole time.
Jon's going to be on his phone with Twitter open watching this fight, like just waiting for Tom to fuck up and get dropped, get leg kicked and limping a little bit. Or, you know what I mean? Jon can't wait for that moment.
Fans are split down the middle. Team Gane supporters are rallying behind his experience and striker's confidence. Aspinall fans are calling it premature celebration. Many are questioning if Gane is underestimating the British champion's well-rounded skill set. The UFC 321 has been trending, with over 50,000 tweets in the past 24 hours alone. You can't talk about this fight without addressing the elephant in the room, Jon Jones. The former heavyweight champion's decision to retire and relinquish his title has created this entire scenario. Interestingly, Gane wasn't frustrated by the year-long delay caused by the Jones-Aspinall saga. "I was not frustrated. I got my experience. We stayed focused, stayed professional, and trusted the work of UFC."
And no, I was not frustrated. I got my experience. I did already 1 year without fight because of the COVID, because the people canceled the fight. we stay every time we stay focused, we stay professional, and we trust to the work of the UFC. And we're just waiting at the gym, keep training, and this is exactly what we did.
But here's the kicker. UFC analyst Din Thomas believes Jones deliberately delayed to gather intelligence. Jon is a chess player. He's collecting as much information on Tom Aspinall as possible. We haven't seen Tom in a lot of tough spots.
Jon is a chess player. You gotta think about this. He's a very intellectual chess player. And he's trying to collect as much information on Tom Aspinall as possible. Exactly. We haven't really seen him in a lot of tough spots.
Jones became the second longest reigning UFC heavyweight champion despite having only one title defense, a record that many view as controversial given his avoidance of the Aspinall unification bout. Now, with Jones out of the picture, both fighters know this is their moment to prove who truly deserves to be called the undisputed heavyweight king. So how has Tom Aspinall responded to Gane's bold claims? The Manchester native has remained characteristically composed, but don't mistake that for lack of confidence. At the recent UFC Paris press conference, Aspinall faced a hostile French crowd supporting Gane, getting booed throughout the event. But one thing surprised the champion during their face-off. He's not as tall as I remember, Aspinall noted, revealing Gane isn't actually taller than him as many assume. I thought he was quite a bit taller than me, but he isn't.
He's not as tall as I remember. I thought he was a bit taller than me.
You got your high trainers on?
No, got my flats on, look at them.
Oh, yeah.
Got my flats on.
Yeah.
I thought he was quite a bit taller than me, but he isn't, is he?
UFC legend Michael Bisping, who hosted the press conference, felt Aspinall should have been more aggressive with the hostile crowd. He should have said, "Hey, all you French fans, enjoy this moment because I'm going to knock Ciryl Gane out. Then you can all shut up."
What he should have said was, "Hey, all you French fans, enjoy this moment right here because it ain't going to last because I'm going to knock Ciryl Gane out just like I have done everybody else. And then you can all shut the up."
But Aspinall's record speaks for itself. He holds the record for shortest average fight time and has never been taken past the second round. His finishing ability is undeniable, with spectacular wins over Sergey Pavlovich, Curtis Blades, and Alexander Volkov. Let's break down what's actually at stake when these two heavyweights collide on October 25th at Abu Dhabi's Etihad Arena. For Aspinall, this represents his first title defense as undisputed champion. At 15-3, he's looking to cement his legacy and prove he's not just an interim champion who got lucky.
Last minute. Good block stuff. Last minute. Good block stuff.
Low kick as well.
Jon Jones has stated publicly he wants to fight at the White House. Even last week, he was at the Grammys or some shit like that, and he was on the red carpet speaking about how he's back testing and he's ready to fight at the White House. But Dana seems more stern in not letting him today than I have ever seen him in regards to Jon Jones. I remember when he canceled that fight against Chael, Dana said he'll never headline again. This time he seems like he is not going to back down and allow for him to be on his White House card. And if I'm being completely honest, I don't know that I agree. I think I would let him fight. I think if he wants to fight, I would let him fight because for as much as mixed martial arts is a global sport, and it's a sport that everybody loves and we support people from all around the world, at the end of the day, when we're fighting at the White House, you want American people that can win at the end of the night. Imagine if we're on the White House lawn and the Americans aren't winning fights. And that could happen because when the opening line for McGregor versus Chandler comes out, Chandler's going to be a pretty substantial underdog, as he should be. Even though Conor hasn't fought in forever, he will still be the favorite to beat Michael Chandler. I believe that you got to let him fight, man. I think that you put some things in his contract that makes it very costly to not follow through.
Donald Trump mentioned that he wanted to have a fight at the White House guard, and that just seems like such a huge opportunity. I'm a very proud American. I have a lot of close friends that are in the military. Just to be able to entertain the country and the world at this level at the White House, it just means the world to me. So I'm back.
Daniel Cormier and Jon Jones just dropped a bombshell message to UFC CEO Dana White, and it's all about Jon Jones. In his words, "If I'm being completely honest, I don't know that I agree with White. I think I'd let him fight." That's right, one of Jon Jones's greatest rivals, a man who spent years feuding with him inside and outside the octagon, is now standing by his side. Cormier says Dana White is wrong about shutting the door on Jones fighting at the UFC's historic White House event next year, and even Jones himself is making it clear. "Despite the odds, I'm still training and optimistic about the possibility of being part of the White House event." This is the story of unlikely alliances, broken trust, and the fight for history on the South Lawn of the White House.
How do I look, DC? Hey, all that's all just, hey, listen, that's all just for show. I look like I'm not
crackhead with a suit on.
With that?
You look like a crackhead with a suit on.
I could look like a crackhead with a suit on, but I've never been a crackhead like you know. So you can say I look like one, but I've never been one. I've never been one.
Daniel Cormier versus Jon Jones is one of the greatest rivalries in UFC history. They brawled at press conferences, insulted each other on live TV, and battled twice in the cage. Yet now, in 2025, Cormier is putting the rivalry aside for something bigger: America's image on the biggest stage the UFC has ever had. Speaking on his YouTube channel, Cormier said, "If I'm being completely honest, I don't know that I agree with White. I think I'd let him fight. I think if he wants to fight, I'd let him fight because for as much as mixed martial arts is a global sport, and it's a sport that everybody loves, and we support people from all around the world, at the end of the day, when you're fighting at the White House, you want American people that can win."
And if I'm being completely honest, I don't know that I agree. I think I would let him fight. I think if he wants to fight, I would let him fight because for as much as mixed martial arts is a global sport, and it's a sport that everybody loves, and we support people from all around the world. At the end of the day, when we're fighting at the White House, you want American people that can win.
Cormier argued that the UFC needs a strong American presence on the White House card. And right now, he says, Jones is the only American capable of delivering that win. He even pointed out, "We have no American guys in the top 10 of the pound for pound since Jon Jones retired. That's crazy. Come on, boss. It's me asking you to give Jon Jones a chance."
We have no American guys in the top 10 pound for pound right now since Jon Jones retired. That's crazy. Come on. Come on, boss. It's me asking you to give Jon Jones a chance. That's crazy.
For Cormier, it's not about friendship. It's about national pride. But Dana White doesn't see it that way. For months, the UFC boss has made it clear Jones is too risky. The arrests, failed drug tests, last-minute cancellations, White has seen it all. He even joked that the odds of Jones fighting on the White House card are 1,000,000,000 to 1. At UFC 318, White explained, "I can't risk putting him in big positions, in a big spot, and have something go wrong, especially the White House card."
Just wondered, at this point, is there anything in the next few months or several months that Jon could do where you could say, okay, I actually trust him to put him on that card?
Let me ask you, what do you think Jon would do in the next couple of months that would make me trust putting him on the White House card?
Well, I would not trust him, but I would like to see him fight Aspinall on that card down the road.
So I already said that I don't trust him, and you're asking me what could he do for me to trust him in the next 3 months? You don't trust him.
Well, yes, but you talk to him. I don't.
Yeah. No, I don't talk to him either. I haven't talked to him at all.
Well, there's a greater chance you'll talk to him than I'll talk to him.
Yeah. I would not bet on, if I had to make odds, it's 1,000,000,000 to 1 that I put Jon Jones on the White House card.
All right, I think that ends the questions on it.
Yeah.
And White has reason to be cautious. The UFC's only canceled event in history, outside of the pandemic, was because of Jon Jones. With the White House event set to be the most high-profile card ever, White says reliability comes first. Cormier doesn't deny Jones's history, but he thinks there's a way to manage it. His proposal? Put strict safeguards in Jones's contract. I think you put some things in his contract that make it very costly to not follow through, Cormier suggested. If you put Jon Jones on the White House card, say something happens in the law, and he has to be pulled from the card, $1 million. Say he just says he doesn't want to fight, $1 million. Say he gets injured, then it should be less, as long as the injury can be proven. But you put these safeguards in place to make sure that he shows up there.
I believe that you got to let him fight, man. I think that you put some things in his contract that makes it very costly to not follow through. You understand? So if you put Jon Jones on the White House card, say something happens in the law and he has to be pulled off the card, $1 million. Say he just says he doesn't want to fight, $1 million. Say he doesn't, say he gets injured, then it should be less, as long as the injury can be proven. If the injury is proven, charge him nothing. He's just a normal fighter that got hurt in training camp. But you put these safeguards in place to make sure that he shows up there. Because one, you pick a card with him and Conor McGregor, massive eyes will be on that card.
For Cormier, the risk is worth it. Because 1, you make a card with him and Conor McGregor, massive. 2, you put an American guy in the main event who has a real chance to win. That's what people want.
But you put these safeguards in place to make sure that he shows up there. Because one, you pick a card with him and Conor McGregor, massive eyes will be on that card. And 2, you put an American guy in there in the main event that has a real chance to win the fight. And send everyone home feeling very good. It's why the good guys win at the end of movies. Because they want people to feel good leaving the theater. Except for $1 Million Baby.
And what about Jon Jones himself?
Why do you think Jones retired and then came back to the testing pools so early?
I have a hard time believing that he would duck somebody. Because he's good. I don't think Tom Aspinall is that hard a matchup for him. When I lost in the Olympic semifinals were automatically wrestling for the bronze medal back then. I said to my coaches, I don't want to wrestle for third. I didn't come here for a bronze medal. I think that wrestling gets much easier when you get heavy. Everything, even MMA. Aljamain Sterling, I'll tell you this. You are a better fighter than I was. Problem is, you're in a harder weight class. Guess whose fault it was?
The commission.
Luke Rockhold. I'm like 5 over. And I tell Luke Rockhold, I go, I probably should get about 2 more pounds off before I leave. Luke had a girl lined up. He wants nothing more than to leave the gym. Everybody's like, no, you got to lose more weight. And I look at Luke and he's like, he's fine.
Despite Dana White's skepticism, Jones is making it clear that he's preparing as if the White House call will come. On social media, Jones wrote, "Despite the odds, I'm still training and optimistic about the possibility of being part of the White House event. At the end of the day, Dana is the boss, and it's his call whether I compete that night or not. I do know Dana was really excited about the fight, and the door hasn't been completely closed. That's all a guy like me really needs. It sounds like another awesome goal to be inspired by. Sometimes in life, we're not going to reach everything we set out to do, and that's okay. But I like my chances. After all, 1 in a billion is exactly what it took to end up as Jon Bones Jones in the first place."
I'm not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
Great. And what's the status of the fight at the White House?
I don't really know. It's kind of out of my control right now. I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention. But ultimately, it's up to the boss.
Retirement because you want to fight at the White House.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Did he call? Have you had any motion on that since he said that?
No, we haven't had a conversation about it, but I have a very strong feeling that I'll be fighting that night. Sure.
And I got to ask, would you fight before or after that, or is this a one and done?
I think it's going to be one and done. But
man,
who knows what the future holds?
That's huge, bro. That's huge, man.
Former champ Robert Whittaker says Jones is paying the price for how he handled the Aspinall saga, claiming that whole length of time of inactivity and holding up the division stretched the trust factor with the bosses.
At this point right now, I can kind of see Jon Jones just trolling the hell out of like Tom Aspinall, dude. Like I can see him like signing it, doing 5 months, and then just retiring. I think he's trolling him at this point. It's rough. Aspinall's just wasting away. A lot of Jones fans have just jumped ship.
But maybe he's looking to properly like bulk up in the right places.
Maybe.
Well,
Or he's trolling.
I'm just happy it's not my division.
Meanwhile, Chael Sonnen thinks the UFC doesn't even need Jones or McGregor to headline. He floated Ilya Topuria versus Islam Makhachev as a potential main event, asking, does Ilya versus Islam, champ versus champ, trump Conor McGregor versus anybody?
First and foremost, are you retired?
I am not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
Great. And what's the status of the fight at the White House?
I don't really know. It's kind of out of my control right now. I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention. But ultimately, it's up to the boss.
If I did, Jon Jones would be the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world.
If I did, it would be Ilya Topuria.
Well, there you go. You do it, so good luck.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Dana, over here.
Yeah.
Olympic gold medalist Gable Stevenson has been seen recently training with Jon Jones and said himself he plans on joining the UFC. Is that someone you're interested in seeing?
So the question, what did Gable Stevenson and Jon Jones,
been
what?
training with Jon Jones, and he wants to come
Oh,
to
okay.
UFC.
Jon Jones is training? Holy shit. That's news to me. Was he on the reality show in Thailand or something?
Oh, boy.
When you knock on my door and I say, hello,
boy.
Satan,
Spider webs.
I believe it is time to go. Me and the devil.
Jon Jones has dropped a massive bombshell about his fighting future. Despite Dana White's 1,000,000,000 to 1 odds against him, Bones Jones is declaring he's not retired and is actively training 5 days a week for what could be the most historic UFC event ever. The White House card set for June 2026.
Doing pretty well. Things are going great. The White House. Dana White said you and Jon Jones, that's a real deal. I'm going home. I'm going to get the head down. I'm going to rest. They're testing me. I'm in the pool. I says, you know, man, I thought that's what the pools are for, jumping in and out. But I'm back in the pool. So get ready and stay ready because damage will be done. Oval Office, White House guy.
But that's not all. Conor McGregor has also thrown his hat into the ring with a cryptic Twitter post declaring McGregor's return. This raises the burning question. Are we looking at a potential dream card featuring both legendary fighters at the president's residence? Stay tuned as we break down all the explosive details. Let's start with the man who started it all, Jon Jones. Remember, this is the same fighter who announced his retirement just months ago, effectively killing a mega fight with Tom Aspinall that fans had been desperately waiting for. Dana White was not happy about that decision.
You retired, but now it seems like you're getting back into it.
Yes,
Can you
ma'am.
explain it, break it down for us a little bit?
I was retired. I felt like I was at a place where I've done it all in the MMA space, and felt like there wasn't too many more challenges for me, and I just wanted to do something more than championships and money. And Donald Trump mentioned that he wanted to have a fight at the White House Garden, you know, and that just seems like such a huge opportunity. Just to be able to entertain the country and the world at this level at the White House, it just means the world to me. So I'm back.
But speaking at the MTV VMAs, Jones made his intentions crystal clear, and I quote, "I am not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool." That's right, folks. Jones has re-entered the USADA testing pool, which means he's serious about this comeback.
Jon Jones has unretired. That is correct. He says that he is now back in the testing pool. Check this out. So, of course, the UFC shares this, and this is very nice of the UFC. Jon Bones Jones, the greatest of all time.
When pressed about the White House card specifically, Jones said, "I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention, but ultimately it's up to the boss. The boss, of course, being Dana White, and White is not making this easy for Jones.
First and foremost, are you retired?
I am not retired. I'm actively training 5 days a week, and I'm in the UFC's drug testing pool.
Great. And what's the status of the fight at the White House?
I don't really know. It's kind of out of my control right now. I'm training for the event. I'll be ready for the event. That's my goal. That's my intention. But ultimately, it's up to the boss.
The UFC president has set the odds at 1,000,000,000 for Jones appearing on this historic card. Why? Because Jones has burned bridges before, backing out of the Tom Aspinall fight after reportedly agreeing to terms. White doesn't trust Jones with such a massive event, and frankly, can you blame him?
What makes you confident?
What makes me confident? Oh, man. I don't know. Just hard work. Hard work and doing the things that people don't like to do. I think that builds confidence. Repetition builds confidence.
Getting to your level, which is, I want to just say congratulations on everything you've done.
Thank you.
What was the biggest struggle you've dealt with in your career, but that struggle made you who you are today?
The biggest struggle. You know, one thing that I'm learning in life right now is just to say yes to opportunities and not to allow insecurities or fears to hold you back. For example, just 2 days ago on Friday, I got this opportunity to be a presenter in one of the biggest shows in the world. Pretty intimidating opportunity, but I said yes, right? So I think one of the biggest things I'm working on in life right now is just saying yes, facing your fears head on.
What advice would you give to someone who is afraid of facing their fears every single day?
My advice would be to just do it. And oftentimes after it's done, you're going to be so glad that you did. And I do believe the best things in life are usually on the opposite side of hard work and fear.
Jon, thank you so much. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you.
Now let's talk about this unprecedented UFC White House card. Because this isn't just any fight night. We're talking about the most ambitious MMA event in history. Originally scheduled for July 4th, 2026, America's 250th birthday, the event has now been moved up to June 2026, and the details are absolutely mind-blowing. Fighters will warm up inside the White House itself. Ceremonial weigh-ins will take place on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial. We're talking about fireworks, light shows, and festivities unlike anything the sport has ever seen.
So every one of our national park, battlefields, and historic sites are going to have special events in honor of America 250. And I even think we're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have, does anybody watch UFC, the great Dana Well? We're going to have a UFC fight. We're going to have a UFC fight. Think of this on the grounds of the White House. We have a lot of land there. We're going to build a little, we're not, Dana's going to do it. Dana's great, one of a kind. Going to have a UFC fight, championship fight, full fight, like 20, 25,000 people. And we're going to do that as part of 250 also. We're going to have some incredible events, some professional events, some amateur events, but the UFC fight's going to be a big deal too.
This isn't just about entertainment. This is about history. The UFC has never held an event at the White House, and with America celebrating its 250th anniversary, this card represents the ultimate fusion of American combat sports and patriotic celebration. But here's the catch. Getting on this card isn't just about being a big name. Dana White is being extremely selective because this event will be watched by millions around the world. The stakes couldn't be higher, and that's exactly why Jones's past behavior is coming back to haunt him. Just when you thought this story couldn't get more explosive, enter Conor McGregor. The Irish superstar, who hasn't fought since November 2021, took to Twitter with a simple but powerful message: McGregor's return.
When the fight is going on, while the fight's happening and we're filming, one whole side of the backdrop will be the White House. We will absolutely positively put on the baddest card of all time.
So what would be the dream main event?
The dream main event right now would be Aspinall versus Jones.
Is it possible that McGregor and Jones would fight on the same card?
Could be.
Now, this is huge news because McGregor, unlike Jones, seems to have Dana White's blessing. Earlier reports revealed that McGregor had exchanged direct messages with White about headlining the White House card, and White reportedly loved the idea. Think about it. McGregor might not be American, but he's arguably the biggest draw in UFC history. His return would guarantee massive pay-per-view numbers and global attention for this historic event. Plus, unlike Jones, McGregor hasn't been backing out of agreed fights recently. The question everyone's asking: could we see both McGregor and Jones on the same card? A double main event featuring two of the sport's most controversial yet captivating figures? The possibility has fans around the world losing their minds on social media. But we can't forget about the elephant in the room. Tom Aspinall, the current interim heavyweight champion, has been waiting for his shot at Jones, and this White House situation has put him on high alert.
But undisputed status is disputed. That's where we're at right now.
Well, somebody said
An interim champion can't be in the presence of an undisputed champion, and an undisputed champion can't be in the presence of an interim champion.
And that's true.
They both contradicts each other completely.
Of course.
So we need to find out who the guy is. If it's not Jon Jones, get out of the way. I'll take the title. I'll fight someone else. Happy days.
Aspinall has been vocal about wanting to unify the heavyweight titles, and with Jones actively training again, those fight negotiations could heat up quickly. If Jones does make it onto the White House card, Aspinall versus Jones would be the perfect co-main event to complement a potential McGregor return. However, Aspinall has his own upcoming title defense against Ciryl Gane to worry about first. But make no mistake, he's keeping a close eye on these developments, and his team is surely preparing for the possibility of facing Jones on the biggest stage in UFC history.
Question for Tom. Tom, you were originally supposed to fight Jon Jones for the belt. Now it's Ciryl. So my question is simple. Considering that Jones is nearing the end and Ciryl is in his prime, who do you consider the biggest test right now?
Cyryl's the guy I'm fighting, so he's the biggest test right now. Jon Jones is retired, so I don't really have much to say on that, to be honest. So I'm fighting this guy, and this guy's really good, so I'll be as ready as I can be.
In related news that could impact Jones's White House chances, all charges against him from a February car accident in Albuquerque have been officially dropped. The Bernalillo County District Attorney's Office dismissed the case after Jones's alibi defense held up. Jones released a statement saying, "I want to thank the District Attorney's Office for carefully reviewing the facts and ultimately vindicating me completely. The simple fact is this: I was never there. I never even left my house that night, and all the evidence proved that." Keep it locked here for all the latest updates on this developing story. This is shaping up to be the fight game story of the decade, and we'll be covering every twist and turn as it unfolds. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
I'd love him to have a very highly paid boxing match.
UFC heavyweight champion Tom Aspinall and his father Andy have just dropped a career-changing message that has the entire MMA community talking. And it's not about his upcoming title defense. The newly crowned undisputed heavyweight king, who claimed his throne after Jon Jones's shocking retirement in June, has his sights set beyond the octagon, and it involves boxing gloves, massive paydays, and a direct challenge to the UFC's pay structure. This is a story about money, power, and a father's bold vision for his son's future. Let's break it all down. The bombshell came during a candid interview on Tom Aspinall's own YouTube channel, where his father and longtime coach Andy Aspinall didn't hold back about their plans. "I'd love him to have a very highly paid boxing match for the money. The money's there, and I don't see why somebody as talented as Tom shouldn't have a piece of that money when the boxers are getting 100 times more." Andy Aspinall.
The money. I'd love him to have a very highly paid boxing match. For the money. You know, the money's there, and I don't see why somebody as talented as Tom shouldn't have a piece of that money when the boxers are getting 100 times more than 100 times more.
But here's where it gets even more explosive. Andy Aspinall took direct aim at the UFC's compensation structure, stating bluntly, "The UFC ain't paying that type of money."
The UFC ain't paying that type of money.
This isn't just wishful thinking from a proud father. This is a calculated business statement from the man who's coached Tom since he was a child and helped guide him to the pinnacle of mixed martial arts. The timing couldn't be more significant. Tom Aspinall is set to make his first undisputed title defense against Ciryl Gane at UFC 321 in Abu Dhabi on October 25th. But even with championship gold around his waist, his camp is already looking beyond the octagon for what they see as the real money.
All right, now, UFC 321, October 25th, Etihad Arena in Abu Dhabi. Tom Aspinall will face Ciryl Gane. Aspinall has 15 wins, and all of them are by finish. Gane is the #1 ranked heavyweight. You can go to, tickets go on sale this Friday.
Let's talk numbers, because that's what this is really about. Andy Aspinall didn't mince words when describing the financial disparity between boxing and MMA. According to Andy, boxers are earning more than 100 times more than UFC fighters. To put this in perspective, while top UFC champions might earn millions per fight, boxing's biggest stars regularly command $20 to $50 million purses, sometimes even more. Francis Ngannou proved this point when he left the UFC heavyweight championship behind to pursue boxing riches, reportedly earning around $10 million for his debut against Tyson Fury, potentially more than he made in his entire UFC career.
So what was the holdup with the UFC? Like, what led you to not sign?
There was a lot of frustration over the years. I think since my fight against Stipe, my first fight against Stipe, my relation with the UFC never been the same.
Really?
I felt like I wasn't in the right place. Then I get the Derek Lewis fight, who was like the worst fight.